So here is Steve Clemons. We just wrapped up your New America Foundation panel. Will the next president make the Middle East irrelevant?
Right.
Was that question answered?
Oh, I think many people answered it, and I think the fair question is that the next president probably won't make the Middle East irrelevant, because oil is going to continue to matter, the relationship will matter, the issues going on in the Sunni-Shia world, and the players in that region really do matter. I tried to ask the question facetiously to sort of ask, what would a strategy look like to make it less convulsive, to help getting a positive strategy in the region that would benefit both American interests, American stability, and other parts of the world, their stability and prosperity as well.
Did you achieve that goal?
I absolutely think so. I thought, I don't know what you thought, I thought this was a fabulous forum. We had John Kerry speak, we had Gregory Craig, Obama's national security advisor, Anne-Marie Slaughter, the former foreign minister of Germany, Joschka Fischer, who was just mesmerizing, Mel Levine, former Congressman Walter Isaacson. And in this exchange with everyone, and the panel that we had, I think that the consensus was there are many things that have gone wrong in the last 8 years under the Bush administration. Not only a negligence, but almost a set of activities that have dug the hole, as James Zogby said, even deeper.
James Zogby, the
Arab American Institute, right? And that there are things that we can do to stop making that hole deeper, and that can help us move us forward into a new equilibrium. You heard me say at the end, I'm not really a peace guy, but I am an equilibrium guy, and I think that there are a lot of things that we can do to begin getting a general move towards a mutually reinforcing set of positives in the region. I think that we can get new equilibria in the region if we take a regional context and stop putting in a silo the Israeli-Palestinian problem to the siloing the Iraq problem, siloing the Syria problem, siloing the Taliban problem. There's a regional arrangement where we can basically solve a lot of things. And I was shocked. John Kerry made that the core of his speech. Mel Levine referenced that. Joschka Fischer said there's no other way to approach the region than having some sort of a grand bargain approach. So I'm very excited to hear those folks that are both part of civil society saying these are the things we need to do, but then hear Gregory Craig, Mel Levine, John Kerry, who are very close to President Barack Obama, Democratic presidential candidate. I almost said President Obama, but that would be part of the DNA of their next administration. Is really exciting.
So the big consensus here is that notion of interconnectedness between all these various.
Look, I think there are two: interconnectedness and no false choice. A pro-Israel strategy can also be a pro-Arab strategy. To get rid of the zero-sum game in the interest is absolutely crucial. And looking at the component parts of this and bringing them together, that's what I think. That's what I think the takeaway of this is. And it was, I mean, I got goosebumps when I heard Obama guys saying it.
Now, is there a way to articulate progressive foreign policy principles along these lines that answer the standard conservative or neoconservative charge that a diplomacy-based, internationalist, progressive foreign policy is somehow naive and soft-headed?
Look, they've had 8 years and they've failed. Every single benchmark or category of how they've approached the region has failed. We have Condi Rice, who was in Israel just a day ago, her 7th trip since Annapolis, and we still don't have progress. I admire her for what she's doing, but she's being undermined by her own team. And I think to some degree what the neoconservatives have said is that they think that democracy can be spread by force. I don't think it can be. I think we need to cultivate positives. I think we need to establish hope, generate stability and equilibrium so that people aren't sending their smart people out because they fear about their future and holding them in. That's a necessary requirement for social change and the implantation of liberalism in the traditional sense within these societies. And so I think that this was the best response to the neocon line I've heard of any forum I've been involved with.
Greg Craig offered a 6-point strategy that he says the Obama administration would implement. Is that the first time you've heard of that?
Yes, it is.
And what was your reaction to it?
Oh, I tell you, part one, again, number one on that 6-point list, I don't know all 6 points, but we'll make sure that folks get that video, is to front load this. Don't wait until the 7th year of your second term to try to turn this around. That the consequences of losing in the Middle East and failing to achieve a solution, both in Israel-Palestine, but broader issues, the consequences of failure each time are worse and worse and worse. I agree with Zbigniew Brzezinski that for America, the Middle East represents the defining challenge in our era. And that the sense the world has of that is that if we fail to get it right, it looks as if we can't achieve any of our objectives that we set out for ourselves. We can't achieve results. So we can talk a lot, we can, embrace or beat up dictators around the world, but fundamentally, unless you have I think a pretty rigorous strategic plan to get systemic change in some of these regions, and then I think more globally to establish a new and positive equilibrium, then we're going to continue to be in a convulsive world with no equilibrium and no chance and to get into a new era. And I think that what Greg Pegg said is that's got to be one of the very top priorities of Barack Obama. And he basically promised that Obama would do this, which is good enough for me.
Excellent. Thank you
Bill,
so
it's great
much.
to be with you. You do awesome work, man.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.